Welcome to the Amber Maxwell Show!
Hello and welcome to my show, the Amber Maxwell Show. Today we have a very special guest. She's a 5-time Academy Award winner and she's here to talk to us about her latest achievements. Welcome, Giselle.
Thank you for having me here today, Amber. I am Giselle Phoenix, and I flew in all the way from...
This just in, breaking news!
What could be more important than me?
Okay. We've just received breaking news that the T cells are under attack. I repeat, the T cells are under attack. And no, this is not a drill.
What are T cells and why are they under attack?
Our expert can actually fill you in. Welcome, Dr. Hans Fitzgerald. Welcome, Dr. Fitzgerald.
How are you doing today?
Good, how about you?
Well, I'm doing fantastic, and I appreciate you having me on the show today.
Of course.
Oh. Well, let me tell you a little something about T cells. So basically what these T cells are, they're a very main component of the immune system. Okay? These T cells are basically the responsibility or the defense of the immune system that kind of fights off any kind of foreign invaders, such as a virus or a disease in the body. Now, where are these T cells produced? They are produced in the bone marrow and in the thymus, so they can become adult T cells and actually fight off disease. Now, T cells activate B cells and natural killer cells that also are part of the immune system. Lastly, T cells produce interleukins, which are a signal response for the immune system to further fight off any kind of disease or virus.
Okay, I get what T cells are, but why are they being attacked and how?
I'm glad you asked. We actually have Tommy the T cell reporting to us live to give us more details.
I'll try my best to explain, but we're getting under attack! Ah! Back to you, Amber!
Okay, well, that was pointless.
I hope he's okay, but luckily we have scientist Elizabeth Steele in the audience. Would you like to come up and explain to us?
Yeah!
Hi, thank you everybody. I'm Elizabeth Steele and I'll be talking to you about how HIV affects T cells. So initially, HIV enters through a mucosal membrane, and around that area you have lots of things called immature dendritic cells. The importance about these cells is that they are closely related to T cells, and what happens is once a virus attaches to it, it will mature and head over into a lymph node to present the pathogen to a developing T cell or B cell to elicit a response. Once the HIV virus comes into contact with the dendritic cell, there are 3 methods of ways to transfer the virus to the developing CD4 T cell. One is through attachment, one is endocytosis, and that's where the virus kind of melts onto the outer membrane and it becomes accepted into the dendritic cell. And the last one is fusion, where the virus will input its DNA into the dendritic cell, and then that DNA will be transferred into the T cell. Once bound to the T cell, the virus will release its genetic material into that cell. Some of the contents that the virus puts inside of the cell include something called reverse transcriptase. What this does is it takes the RNA from the virus and converts it into DNA so that a second enzyme called integrase can integrate that DNA into the host DNA, your DNA, where it can lie dormant for a number of years before becoming active. Once the host DNA starts to replicate, proteins of the virus will be made. Once they are activated, what will happen is a process called budding, where the proteins will push out of the membrane taking pieces of the membrane with it so that it has all of the necessary components to bind to another CD4 T cell and repeat the entire process. The budding eventually kills the original T cell, which leads to the weakening of the immune system.
Thank you for that explanation.
That's like the most uncoolest thing ever. Like, how do I not get that HIV ABC thing?
Our disease prevention specialist can tell you the best ways to prevent HIV. Please welcome Helen Stein. Please tell us about the prevention.
So I just want to tell you a few ways that HIV can be transmitted and also treated. So HIV can be transmitted several different ways, namely through a contaminated individual's blood, semen, rectal or vaginal fluid, or even through breast milk. The most common ways that people get infected is through sexual transmission, and this can be either through anal or vaginal intercourse. The second most common way that people get infected is through sharing needles and syringes with someone who has HIV. It is important to remember that HIV cannot be transmitted through the air, water, bug bites, saliva, toilet seats, or drinking fountains. There are treatments available, however, if you do get infected by HIV. These treatments are typically referred to as cocktails, and basically what they do for you is they help you live longer, lower your chances of transmitting HIV to other people, and lower your chances of developing non-HIV related illnesses such as the common cold. Cocktails are usually just a combination of antiviral drugs. HIV is a virus that replicates constantly, so these antiviral drugs can help stop the virus replication.
Okay, like, I get it now, but this whole HIV thing is getting really annoying, TBH, so can we just, like, talk about me now?
Well, actually, we're already running out of time, but thank you for making an appearance today.
Whatever, I better get paid double for this.
Thank you all for tuning in to the Emma Maxwell Show. Before you go, remember to check under your seat because everybody gets a condom, you get a condom, you get a condom, and everybody gets a condom! And remember, always practice safe sex.